G'day viewers, it's time once again for that end of week roundup known as Totally Fucked Up Friday. And let's start with what I think is one of the most totally fucked up headlines you would ever hope to not see in your local newspaper. Namely, insane killer escapes from day trip to local county fair. I'm not making this up. In Spokane, Washington, an insane killer was taken out on a day release with other mental patients to a local county fair and escaped. And a spokesman from the sheriff's office said he's probably heading to Sunnyvale where his mother lives. So if I was you and I lived in Washington State, I would draw a line on the map from Spokane to Sunnyvale and stay the fuck away from that whole corridor. But in the sheriff's office, in order to calm people down, they did mention that he'll probably get more unstable and dangerous the longer he's out and away from his medication. That is a totally fucked up way to calm the public down. We move now to England, where the supermarket chain Tesco's is guilty of gross religious discrimination, namely against Jedi. Founder of the International Church of Jedi, the 23-year-old virgin Daniel Johns, was thrown out of Tesco for wearing his religious Jedi robes, saying they had a rule against hoodies, because in England they're terrified of the young folk and their hoodies and their hip-hop and such like. And he was thrown out, saying this was unfair because, of course, they don't throw out, for instance, Muslim women wearing any sort of head covering. Apparently when he brought this up, they laughed at him. I'm going to side with the good folk at Slashdot, who pointed out this is exactly the sort of thing that turns young Jedi to the dark side. And speaking of bad jokes masquerading as religions, reports have been surfacing recently the Church of Scientology in Australia urging the government to censor the internet and the media for what they call religious vilification. Personally, I side with a number of governments around the world who don't recognise Scientology as a religion, seeing it more as a money-making venture, or, as several inquiries and court cases have found, a dangerous cult that causes severe damage to people who get tied up in it. Now, you may not be surprised to learn that what Scientology are most worked up about is Anonymous, that shady group of internet people who have declared, well, war on Scientology, and Scientologists call them variously cyber terrorists, religious bigots, and naughty, naughty boys. Well, I get that people in Scientology, like someone who believes fucking insane stories about spaceships that look like DC-9s and alien overlords throwing people into volcanoes and their souls are around causing all our problems. Okay, you're not bright, you're not big on logic and common sense if you believe that, but I'm gonna help you out. Now, with a very loosely associated group where you cannot possibly get all of them, even if you get some of them and you don't understand how these people work and what they can do on the internet, do you know what would be your worst possible outcome? If you got someone in court and proved they were part of an anonymous campaign to get you and they suffered some legal punitive damage as a result. That would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to you because of the retaliation that would come afterwards. Denial of service attack, that's kiddie stuff. That's nothing. You have no idea what would rain down on you afterwards. And I'm not a big believer in revenge and attacks like that, but when you read Scientology's history and understand what they call fair game, and for instance the Snow White campaign they ran in the US, they've pretty much earned whatever comes down the track. But let me just say, someone who has absolutely insane beliefs has been found guilty multiple times of deliberately causing severe harm to people who are indoctrinated into their cult. For people like that to claim religious freedom, that is totally fucked up.